Hello everyone, I am Advocate Sulaiman Bhimani. Welcomes you all in the Citizen Justice Forum video channel. Our mission is to empower Indian citizens by sharing knowledge about their fundamental rights as specified in the Constitution of India. If you are watching us for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon, select all, so you receive notification whenever we upload a new video or go live. Sharing this video with your contacts will be greatly appreciated. आदाब, नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल दोस्तों, आप सभी का स्वागत है सिटीजन जस्टिस फोरम के इस वीडियो चैनल पर। हमारा मिशन भारतीय नागरिकों को उनके हक के बारे में जानकारी देना, जागरूक करना, जो उनको संविधान ने दिए हैं। अगर आप ये चैनल पहली बार देख रहे हो तो कृपया इसे सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, बेल आइकन को क्लिक करके सिलेक्ट ऑल करिए ताकि जब भी हम नए वीडियो बनाते हैं या लाइव जाते हैं तो आपको उसकी जानकारी प्राप्त हो। हम बहुत खुश होंगे अगर आप ये वीडियो आपके दोस्तों और कॉन्टेक्ट के साथ में आप शेयर करेंगे। Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Mr. Samoon Rassiwalla, and Mr. Amit Israni, Chartered Accountant, sitting on the left, and to my right is Mohammad Afzal, who is an campaigner and reformist. Now, coming back to our topic, Samoon Rassiwalla is a civil engineer by profession, and his life is a testament to the belief that the worth of a person is truly visible through the service they provide to the society. So what he has got from the society, he is giving back to the society. In the year 1979, after gaining a decade of valuable experience in the field, Mr. Rassiwalla embarked on a remarkable journey by founding his own company, Messrs. Samoon and Associates, Architects and Engineers. His company specializes in providing licensed services and architecture design, and it has been at the forefront of the numerous significant projects over the past 4 decades. One of the projects, which actually he is not a very outgoing person, but I came to know that one of the largest cluster redevelopment project in the South Mumbai, which is known as SBUT, he was the pioneer initially. His plan was passed, and he was one of the founder and the pioneer member of getting that largest project of Mumbai in a cluster redevelopment approved. His projects includes a wide range of domains, including residential, industrial, commercial, and religious buildings. He has also designed many mosques, I would say, and one of the mosques which I have personally seen is in Second Asrabad lane at Santa Cruz. What a marvelous design, what a piece of architecture. Not a single foot is wasted, open space is there, everything is there. You name it and you will feel that it is something that you would like to see and enjoy it. The project cost that ranges from 1 crore to a staggering of 6,000 crore. Beyond his professional accomplishment, Mr. Samoon Rassiwalla is also an active member of the Lions Club, where he has dedicated his time and efforts to various social activities. His involvement includes initiatives such as blood donation drives, contribution to the Bombay Citizens Committee, participating in the medical relief team during the Latur earthquake, and organizing polio corrective surgery. This is remarkable. And serving the Dawoodi Bohra community. In essence, Mr. Samoon Rassiwalla, life and actions serve as a guidebook for anyone aspiring to make a meaningful difference in society through service. Remarkably, even at the age of 75, he continues to actively participate in social service, embodying the belief that one is never too old to make a positive impact on the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Mr. Samoon Rassiwalla by clicking the like button. So, and he is an inspiration and beacon of selfless service to our community. Mr. Rassiwalla, over to you.
Thank you very much, Advocate Sulaiman Bhimani ji. And I'm also thankful to Citizen Justice Forum for inviting me to this forum and discuss the issue of the society in the redevelopment process. And being in the field of the licensing and approval, the various aspects for redevelopment we'll able to discuss today. And I will start with the brief about the development rules. The Bombay city is the development city, and where the development and redevelopment is a continuous process. Buildings are constructed and thereafter require good maintenance, repair, and whenever required for proper use and safety. After aging of the building, time will come when buildings are required to be demolished and reconstructed. Prior to the Development Control Regulation in 1964, the buildings were constructed as per the requirement of individual owner without any restriction of area of construction. DC Regulation 1964 provides that all type of construction prior to 1961 are considered as a Deem authorized. This means any building which has been constructed prior to 1964 are considered as an authorized structure and can be further maintained and redeveloped as and when required. Now, the 1964, the first regulation came in the Bombay, that is Development Control Regulation 1964, which came when there is a FSI restriction was been imposed. The FSI was varying from 0.75 to 3.5 in city of Bombay, and in suburb FSI was restricted to only 1 FSI. These are the restrictions found in the development control rule. Thereafter, government of Maharashtra found that the repairing of the old building, which is very old, more than constructed prior to 1940 or prior to the DC regulation, are required to be repaired. But repairing under the repair board was not very successful, and he started giving the required redevelopment. In order to make a redevelopment of such building financially feasible, viable, they started granting additional FSI for reconstruction of such building by way of incentive FSI. The incentive FSI started by this process. They meet the financial requirement of the redevelopment of the safe building. Initially, government in the safe building, they have permitted minimum area of 180 square feet. Then FSI was restricted to 2.5. Then they have increased the area. Today, and now the FSI, the government has minimum area has been providing 300 square feet everywhere, and now the FSI has been increased in many fold. The government also introduced during the 1991 development regulation the TDR, and in lieu of handing over the reservation land as well as handing over the setback area and proposed road and widening of existing road. This serve double purpose. One is the government started getting a development reservation, and the TDR generated can be used for reconstruction of the construction of new building. That is double purpose was served. Now today, when we are the government has passed the new development control rule, that is now called Development Control and Promotion Regulation 2034, which is now in force from 2018. Now this new regulation provide many incentive format for redevelopment and construction of various buildings. Now this various incentive is given by various parameter. Now if the your building is existing on the road, bigger road, you get a more FSI. If you are a type of plot, if you are a slum development, building is existing slum, or it is a safe building, or it is commercial building, all depend on what is the type of the plot and building. The type of the building, if a danger building is there, then you require to demolish. Then there is a different criteria, there are different rules provided. Now, the purpose of the use of the particular development. Now we are constructing a school, we are constructing a hospital, then we have additional FSI, hotel, everything, there are extra FSI given. The type type of the building which you are going to construct, there is also giving a different aspect of development. Then if the reservation plot, now the regulation is very clear. When there is reservation plot, you require to develop in various conditions, and this can be handed over to the government partly, and partly can be used for your own development. So this also aspect has been added in the new development control rules. Now I will come to the particular society. Now the society, what is the requirement, how the society is benefited in this regulation. The regulation is 30A and 33 provide the detail about the additional FSI available in various aspects. There are so many regulation which has been there, but whatever the particular affecting the development and redevelopment of society, I will come to the point. Now, first regulation is 30A. The 30A permits additional FSI by way of on the road width. Now, if the road width is minimum road width on which the building can be additional FSI is available, it should be have a 9-meter road. Now the government already instructed, and as per the DC regulation provided, the all existing municipal road are to be widened to the 9 meter. If it is less than 9 meters, then it is provided in the regulation. The process has to be started by corporation and widening the existing road to 9 meters. So minimum FSI is now 1 plus additional FSI of 1 is available. Now the FSI available of on the road width are varying in city and suburb. The city maximum FSI on a road width up to 27 meter goes up to 3 meter, whereas in suburb the additional FSI goes up to 2.5. That is also a provision have been there on a development on a various road. The development of the 33.5. Now 33.5 is particularly for the redevelopment of Maharashtra Housing Board property. Maharashtra Housing Board building, Maharashtra Housing Board has constructed so many colony in Bombay, and now they have been made owner also to them. Now this colony, when they come to development, this come under development rules 33.5, and that is now 33.5 is purely under the complete command of the MHADA. Even approval has been granted by MHADA. It does not come to the corporation. Now the 33.7, which is very famous, everybody cope about the 33.7, is applicable only to repair sales. Now repair sales building are constructed prior to 1940, but there are category. A category, B category, C category. There are various category on the 33 repair sales. But then the maximum, all the category now, originally 33.7, only A category was allowed to redevelop. Now all the category of repair sales, A category, B category, C category are allowed to be redeveloped under 33.7. That all benefit. Now the benefit and incentive in 33.7 is also depend on the lady rector land rate. The location of the particular property will have incentive one different. If a property is in Malabar Hill, the incentive will be different. If it is property is in the Sign or other area where the land rate is less, then the incentive will be different. And secondly, number of property. If your number of properties are clubbed together, if there is 1 plot, 2 plot, 5 plot and more plot, then the incentive also change. So all these, all when government want not to develop small plot, because small plot cannot provide all the safety measures, so the fire requirement, other requirement, minimum open space. So all this is better to combine all the plots together and come with the development under 33(7). And similarly 33(7)(a). Now this has been introduced very recently, 33(7)(a). This is a particular building which is danger, but it is occupied by tenant. The tenanted building in suburb, originally it is not been covered. Now 33(7)(a) is particularly for all the building which is a danger building and city in suburb. And in city, which are the non-safe structure, but which have been already been old, can be redeveloped along with the safe structure. So that benefit also given to the non-safe structure in city also, 33(7)(a). Now 33(7)(b). Now this is a very new regulation which is provided only for a building which is more than 30 years old. Now this is where the new generation, you can say newly constructed building, they are not completed much time, but because of the construction, whatever effect of the weather, anything, the building is required to be redeveloped. Secondly, the amenities, now the people want more amenities, then they can go for redevelopment. Then the benefit of the 33(7)(b) plus road width, all has to be added together and it can be developed. Now 33(9), now is a very important aspect today. What I was talking to you, because the 33(7) provide for more plot to be come together, you get more incentive. The government extended 33(7)(a), 33(7), 33(7)(a)(b), everything together come under cluster development, 33(9). 33(9) is the combination of all the regulation under 33(7). It is come under 33(9). Okay, 33(9) provide ample of development chances and more FSI and better facility. Even the minimum area of the tenement is much more and incentive also much more. But condition is there, you have a larger plot. You cannot develop a small plot in the cluster development. The minimum area required for cluster development in city is of 4,000 square meter, and in suburb it will be 6,000 square meter. This is particularly government want a larger plot to be developed. So all the amenity and other safety factors which has been required. Now today the more restriction have been put in the fire requirement, other requirement, everything requirement have been very strictly, there is a detail even for every requirement have been there. So all these will be available in the cluster development. If you, I was just talking to there is my introduction which has been there, the cluster development, one of the first cluster development being done in the Vindi Bazaar, where all the amenities are being provided. Now you can provide a larger, the small road of width of 20 feet, 30 feet. Now it will converted and will have a bigger road, and they will provide the garden and everything which is required. So that is very important. That is cluster development. You can rearrange even your internal road if it is available. Now the 3311. After that 3311 is the transit accommodation. Now permanent, but this has been under very important. This is under the Slum Act, and this is particularly been handled by Slum Redevelopment Authority, Slum Authority, and this were very important. We get more FSI, but important, the society has to provide additional tenement which will be allotted to the project affected people. If your society is ready to permit the people coming from project affected people to come to society, then can be 3311 can be taken up. These alternatives there, they get 3311, whatever the PAP tenement, you can give within a certain parameter in another plot, but that is a restriction and we have to abide by the certain rules. If it is possible, then you can transfer this PAP tenement into other project and you can have more FSI. But then alternative has to be arranged and to be provided. Then only it is feasible to have more FSI under the 3311. Similarly, 3312B, it is a very similar to 3311, but here the tenement coming under the existing road, footpath, people are staying in footpath and there are project affected people, but this is only available through the corporation. Corporation has already prepared a list of people which have been affected and for which require to remove them by road widening or road construction. Then these people have to be reaccommodated as per recommendation of your particular ward. Wherever you are constructing, then that ward officer will decide which tenement will come there. If you are ready to accommodate them, you get more FSI up to 4. Now this 3318, now this can be taken up, considered by the society. This is very useful for the society to having more FSI. Now 3318 is the providing public parking. If your property is near some very important landmark, suppose you are near railway station, you are in a bus stop or is a government office where there is a parking facilities less, then this parking facility can be provided in the plot. But there is a condition, the road width, again everywhere the road width is very important, road width and area of the plot. If this can be provided, you can get additional, the area of the parking can be given to the corporation, and again this, with this you get additional FSI on the your society. Now the 3319, it is a very interesting aspect on the new regulation. Here, if you want to get a FSI, depend on road width up to 4 or 5, but condition the development should be more of commercial type. There is a residence development is restricted only to 20 to 30% of the plot available, built up area available. All because they want to initiate, government want more commercial area to come in city of Bombay or suburb where this is applicable in the bigger road. Then you can have the more FSI, but this will not be applicable to the society, residence society, because all this will be additional area will be go to the commercial. Now this is the basic of various I've discussed everything in detail of all the regulation, width wise, error wise, and there are tables available on the what of the width and what is the FSI available in the regulation. Accordingly, this can be taken up. And the main important, the regulation 33.5 is been handled by MADA. 3310, a slum redevelopment. 3310 is slum redevelopment. It has been taken up, and approval can be given only by slum rehabilitation or SRA. SRA only takes 3310. All the proposal of the slum redevelopment and 3311 will be taken by SRA. This cannot be. This will not be approved by the municipal corporation. So there are differences. There are differences in payment of premium in every regulation. So it is very important when you come for a redevelopment, which particular regulation is applicable to you. This should be decided. Every case has to be individually discussed and to be studied. Depend on your location, depend on your number of tenants, depend on your plot area. Everything has to be looked in this and accordingly to be decided. So this is very initially for any redevelopment project, more important the person who is having knowledge, a licensing architect or the architects are to be go in and study this particular aspect of your property and come out with the feasibility report. The feasibility report is more important. What I have discussed with you and inform you various regulations. Now which regulation is applicable to your property is very important. Now if you cannot say, okay, this is applicable, I am providing public parking, okay, you provide, but then there is a condition. If the condition is fulfilled, then only you can provide a public parking. If you want to go 3311, whether this is the condition of PAP is met, and accordingly you can do it, and then okay, you can do it. But then all this has to be decided by studying the particular aspect. Secondly, if number of tenements in your existing buildings are more, less, then also there is differences are been there. If there is more FSI available by 33.7 or 33.7A and all other things has to be looked into. So these are the various aspects. This now this regulation, if you see, is giving very, very large development potential for various property in Bombay. And every aspect has to be seen. That's why there was some restriction in the development in the Bombay because of the coastal regulation. Now there are many regulations has been relaxed in the coastal regulation also. So we can, now development is in Bombay going to be very, you can say, now you can see more development in Bombay, or like a redevelopment in Bombay because of the very large provision in the development regulation. And this regulation is very, very open. Even the reservation, if you have property, originally when 1964 the regulation came, people were encroaching their own property by constructing unauthorized work. Now the people who are having reservation on their plot are also ready to develop the reservation because the provision are there. Okay, you can develop the reservation, handing over the corporation, also you get a potential of your development. There are various provisions under regulation 17 is given where all the reservation property, how do we develop? And this is all been very important. The development and redevelopment is now Bombay is going to be very, very, very good. And I will go further. Now, as I was talking to you, every property has different potential. So it is required for any property or any society, if you want to go for redevelopment, first approach the licensing architect or architect and get your feasibility report prepared. Now, you will ask the question, why the feasibility report and what is requirement for feasibility report and what is being contained in feasibility report is very important. Now, I will tell you, first of all, that person will decide, the professional person will decide which regulation is applicable to your property. He will maybe require, he may find the alternative and then select the one alternative which is best for you. So then the first is the regulation. Then very important, what are the premium to be paid? Ready reckoner rates, what is the ready reckoner rate, how the premium will come, and the construction cost, the rent to the existing tenant, corpus, all these will be considered in the project feasibility report. And it will come out with the tentative, what is the sellable area available. All these will become in the feasibility report. So the society will get a full idea. Okay, what is the available, what are the cost involved, and what is the available. Then you can have if the particular sale is possible, this much area to be sold, what is the income? Then accordingly we can negotiate with developer or anybody or self-development, whatever is required. Then this can be taken up. Okay, now there are so many premium which is to be paid. I mean, now you must be reading in the paper many times, the cost of the payment to the corporation and government is so much. Even it comes to the equivalent to the cost of the construction. So then there is a chart provided in the by now our association Piata has prepared a booklet giving all the details of what is the payment to be made to the corporation, and that is corporation is collecting the money, but they are collecting the money from fund goes to the government for various development of even ceiling or coastal zone and other things, coastal development. All these have been taken up by way of premium from this development. So there are list of the premium to be paid by in the development. So that is also one of the very important costs. And that premium varies from plot to plot. There is also, as per the ready reckoner detail given in every year, the ready reckoner rates have been published by the government of Maharashtra. Based on the ready reckoner, this is to be done. Okay, these are the basic. Now I am keeping the forum open for any question answer to you.
So it was a mind-blowing presentation by Samoon Rassiwalla. Now, first, I have many questions, which I have printed out. How much fungible FSI is a member entitled to?
See, the fungible, now I will first of all try to detail what is a fungible FSI. The fungible FSI is not the extra FSI which you are getting. Originally, before the 2012, the builder and maybe giving the flower bed, they will giving chhajas, they will giving the what you call niche, many other architectural feature which has been passed as the elevation feature in the building plan, but this was sold to the individual buyer or the existing tenant by way of the additional area. Now this additional area which has not been a legal, this has been only converted from one elevation architectural feature to the usable area. There are two major defects. This area which is illegally been converted, this is not as per the law, and when the people converted, then actions have been taken, then the people like, well, these have been done by builder and given to us, then there was a conflict going on. So government came out, okay, now instead of all this, no elevation feature, if you want to provide the elevation feature, anything, we are giving 35% extra to you. Either you provide the elevation feature or you increase the area. So that's why 35% fungible has come in the picture. This is the basic purpose of the. This is not a part of the whatever FSI I was talking in different regulation. Whatever regulation provide for a different area, built up area, this fungible is on and above all this area. So this is the very important aspect. This fungible. Now the second important aspect in fungible, the fungible is applicable to all the area in the development. Either it is been occupied by existing tenant or occupied by the new tenant or sale area, whatever we call. But as per the provision, if it is redevelopment and existing tenant are be reaccommodated, then all the fungible which is used, permittable use by the use for the existing tenant are not charged premium. They will be taken free. But whatever we use for the resale, sale area are to be charged premium. But one important aspect, if 35% of the area which is available to the existing tenant, if it is not been used, but cannot be transferred to the sale area. This is very strictly, there is a provision in the regulation, as well as there is a provision, a table which is been provided, that is under chapter 21 number. We have to wear the 21 number table in the approved plan is showing tenement area of all the existing tenant, what is applicable to them, fungible, everything, what is provided. If it is excess, then area will be deducted from sale area. If it is deficit, it will not be transferred to the sale area. This is very important. Now the question, how much area can be given to the existing tenant? See, as per provision, 35% is maximum permissible. Now, in the building, when we plan the building, there are certain area which is come as extra amenities or extra, you can say the road width of the passage or some provision of the some amenity where you require where the FSI they are to be counted in FSI. If it is a rehab portion, then all the rehab portion they will become from the rehab fungible. Then there was area, in my experience, there is between 5 to 10% area. Maximum is not 10%, but 5 to 7% area goes in the other amenity provision. Okay, then remaining area are to be given to the tenant. But only different, why the many builders are not giving more fungible? Because construction, that is all costing additional construction to them. If it is between the finally on the plan which has been, if area is wasted and it is going waste, we are not using, if ready to construct the more area by providing construction, then you can negotiate with the developer and provide maximum available to tenant. 35% is the limit, but depend on the how much area going on. In other words, if you want to use this fungible area for providing any additional amenity which is required by society, then this can be used even for that area also. This can use instead of increasing your area. That is one of the alternative which we can be discussed. I will discuss further in this subject after in some other matter which is we are going to take up.
So, in the nutshell, if I am having a 500 square feet area as my carpet area, what I am entitled to is 35% free of premium. That is called fungible FSI. So it comes to 185 or 190. Say for calculation purpose, 500 plus 200, I am getting 700. Now this on this 200 square feet, it's a round figure, so don't quote that I had quoted 200 square feet. It will be somewhere between 185 to 190. So 200 square feet, the builder doesn't have to pay the premium, but he has to bear the construction cost. So sometimes what happens, it is not feasible for builder to provide you 35% because of the cost. He may provide you 20%, 25%, depending upon the feasibility report. We'll come to the feasibility report later on. Now the second question is, do shop and commercial owners, right? They also get free of FSI, that is 35% fungible free FSI, like the residents?
Yes. Now when the fungible started, initially there was a difference. There was a difference in the percentage of fungible allotted to residents and commercial. Now the new regulation, all the users, residents and non-residents, everybody has been given 35% fungible.
So this is, in the beginning it was that commercial used to get less fungible FSI and residents now, but the law is that everyone is equal, whether this is residence, commercial shop or any commercial establishment, that 35% free fungible FSI can be now. Now coming back to fungible FSI, I just remembered because I had one meeting with Subodh Kumar, when he started this, because there were a lot of court cases pending in the high courts and city civil courts, because what used to happen is the builder used to, make flower beds that were free of FSI, but they were charging the home buyers, that is the flat owners, but BMC or MCGM was not getting any premium for that, right? Similarly, they will make some, dry area or a duct area with later on. The builder will also only say that isko knock down kar dena, ye area aap use kar lena. So even for that, they used to never get the premium. So Subodh Kumar said, anyway, agar आप चोरी करते हैं, तो ये लोग को चोरी करने दो, लेकिन ऑफिशियली करने दो, 35% आपको मिलेगा, आप प्रीमियम भरो. For the sale component or for the rehab component, it is free of charge. Like, I remember those days of Manmohan Singh, lot of smuggling was happening of gold through airport. So he said, okay, you can bring 5 kg of gold if you have stayed more than 1 year and if you are an NRI, but you have to pay the duty. So the smuggling became an official thing. You bring 5 kg of gold, pay the duty, and no question is going to ask. So this was one of the way that 35% fungible FSI was introduced. Now there is a third question. If the builder provides only 20% of fungible FSI instead of the 35%, what remedies are available to the existing home buyer, existing members of the cooperative society?
See, I explained to you before, the 35 is the maximum area permissible. If in the plan, if he is wasting the area, then definitely you can tell him that your area is wasting. Only because of the not giving area to us, you are wasting the FSI which is available to you free of cost. If you are saving, with not constructing, you are saving the construction cost. So we request you to compensate by giving some more area. And if you require, we can negotiate whatever the available, and accordingly you can definitely discuss on this aspect. If the feasible report and the plan, see, very important when we prepare the plan, how much area has been left over fungible is very important. Here there is a particular table which I was talking, 21 number table, which gives the clear picture of each tenement, what is the area available and what is area provided. If this area is going to waste, it is better request him to use it as betterment of a member of the society.
So it is better for us when we are negotiating the arrangement with the builder and we are signing the DA.
Yes, definitely.
Conditions would be that there should be no wastage and everything should be constructed, should be part of the DA agreement.
Yeah.
So the question of dispute and this should not come up.
Okay.
Because basically what is happening is builder does not tell you everything. He keeps a lot of information because he's an expert in his domain. So he keeps a lot of information which today we are listening and we are getting. And even I, who am involved in advising, have learned something new today. And I'm sure that many of our viewers may have also got the benefit of your...
So many people differ to what I propose or what I propagate is that you have to prepare the fungible feasibility report with an independent architect and not with the PMC, because
Precisely.
the architect will give you a clear picture that you fall under which scheme, whether you come under 33.7, you come under 33.9 or whatever it is, and he will give you a road map that this is the way you can go about, and then you can decide, now we want this much area and what will be the sale component. Now what happens, what I have seen, every few years when the government changes or the new government comes or the same government is elected, they come with incentives for the construction industry, because this industry is feeding another 100 industries. Right from ground floor to top floor, you will see that 100 industries are getting benefit because of the new flats are being constructed, whether it is plywood, glass, wire, switches, you name it, there are 100 industries. Now every government will come and give incentives so that the 100 industries are also getting this thing, and everybody wants a development. Now what I learned from Samoon Rassiwalla is that there are more benefits in cluster redevelopment. If 4 or 5 buildings come together, and it should be more than 4,000 square meters.
In city. In suburb, 6,000.
So in city, if 2-4 buildings come together and that plot area size is 4,000 square meters, you can have a wonderful amenities, because your open space requirement. Now what, suppose now I am one building, Samoon Rassiwalla is another building, Muhammad Afzal is another building, and what you call the young man CA Asrani is another building. So now when I design my building, I'll have to keep 6 meters open space, right? So that the fire brigade can maneuver the same way he will do. So the lot of open space are left. But when we come together, so only 1 6-meter open space will go around, and you can have all the amenities like from clubhouse, swimming pool, jogging track, whatever you want, you can have it in that complex, and you can have all the amenities. But there is one question mark or one, conditions come with you, that suppose now if my flat is less than 500 square feet, I don't pay any property tax. But the moment I go for a redevelopment and I assume that my builder will give me 35% more fungible FSI, then today if I am paying 6,000 rupees as a maintenance in my society, that will go up to 12,000 to 15,000 rupees, because that is going to pinch you very hard. So that's where the corpus fund comes. So I'm going to ask, can you elaborate something on the corpus fund, which may be related to the slum rehabilitation, which initially they were getting 20,000 as a corpus fund, now they are getting 40,000. But how is that amount reasonable to maintain that building or maintain that status?
The corpus which is now even government is giving, it is originally even started to meet with the taxes. Now government has already waived the taxes for the small flat. So then there is no question of meeting with the additional taxes. Now only the maintenance. Now maintenance of the building depends on the type of the building. Originally they started with 7-story building. Now you can see the even rehab building are 23-story building with all the fire equipment and everything are been there. Now you require to maintain this. The maintenance cost of this fire equipment is very important. All this. So now the condition has been put up in everywhere. Okay, now the 10-year maintenance has to be done by the developer. Developer means not directly developer. There will be a contract of maintenance by agency who has supplied the equipment, and they will give you, they have to maintain that particular equipment and all mechanical, electrical, whatever equipment are there, they have to be maintained for 10 years. All the maintenance charges are to be prepared by the developer, and there is tri-party agreement with the society, developer and the maintenance contractor. And this will be at least give you 10 years of the free services for a maintenance. That is one aspect. Secondly, what I consider, instead of asking for corpus will never be sufficient, whatever the amount will, but then it is better you ask the developer some amenity by which you can generate income. You can have the community, because the fungible FSI, you are, Mr. Sulaiman has put up, like the area will increase, I will have a more tax. Okay, you have a requirement, some area is additional, 1 rupee is okay. But then then if the common area has been given, where you have some community center, some other there, where you can generate income. By having some guest room, other thing, then society can generate income. That will be remain permanent, and that income will be also increased when the time comes. So then you will be able to meet your maintenance. That will be better than asking corpus. Corpus will come, the government rent of the interest, everything will fluctuating, and sometimes the rate will go down. So you will not have come to the requirement money. So that is better. This is my suggestion. This is not the corpus. Instead of working corpus, you to negotiate with the developer for giving some additional amenity where we can generate income.
What I feel that there are two things in this entire scenario. What we are in fact insisting on is engaging a private architect so that the financial potential comes out, and the feasibility report will be very factual and in the interest of the common man and the members of the society. Second thing is, as far as the cluster redevelopment is concerned, so when we compare one single building for redevelopment versus the cluster redevelopment, in cluster redevelopment, I feel that we can play around with the area, where one portion can, the towers can come up, and the rest of the place you can have all the amenities, like how Sulaiman Bhimani ji said, that you can have swimming pool, you can have clubhouse, you can have various other things as amenities, and I think so you can really play with the area.
Yeah. So there's one clarification which I request Mr. Samoon Rassiwalla to, that 10 years maintenance, right? It is for the slum redevelopment, or it is for the normal redevelopment also?
No, see, now, see, this is where the government come in the picture. These are particularly 33 in the cluster development. This is not been imposed, but slum development, it is definitely imposed now.
Okay.
Because slum now, you can see the condition. Yesterday we had a fire in a slum building. Then that will also, because of the poor maintenance, this has been happened.
Yeah, so there is one more question, that is, why in preparing feasibility report, what aspects are considered?
I already explained, but that's why it is very important. Okay, before you think of going to the developer or going for considering self-development, whatever may be, but redevelopment idea, first you have to ascertain what is your potential of society. That is what I am coming to. When you go to the market with some proposal, at least ascertain yourself what is your potential. That is the where when we even go. So that's why a thorough study is required by a knowledgeable person either in this field, particularly or licensing or other things who have been practicing. You can go to anybody, then take these as advice. It will not be cost much, but it will help you in the wrong way. A very important aspect. Now today, everything is available. Now if your property is affected by road widening, there are some new road coming, some reservation around, because existing society will not have much reservation, but any road widening, anything, any other restriction by way of any other things have been come. Some, if you see the area of the Jew, there are some restriction come by way of the military. That is the restriction. Sometimes now even the defense restriction is coming. Some area, some defense restriction. So all these aspects that we've seen. Sometimes everything is possible. Now the airport, if you are near airport, everything is possible, then there is a aspect of restriction of height. All this has to be studied. Somebody has to study and then they will tell you okay, what is required, what is the restriction here. You may be having the all on the paper everything, or you can think we have all FSI available, but whether it is applicable to your plot. It's very important.
How would you define the difference between commercial and residential? Because what we have seen, that a lot of projects are taken by the builder that they'll have residential. Then the plan starts to change and you have the element of commercial getting in.
The commercial, there are two aspects. See, there are some commercial, there are, you can say the swapping line. Ground floor swapping line is generally permitted everywhere. But the commercial offices, commercial big offices, shop and other things are only permitted in a very limited area where the road width is there. There is a provision in development rule where the swapping are permitted, where the commercial offices are being permitted, which road width. When road width are available, particular, then only now it is commercial and other activity. Secondly, if you are commercial building, as I say, the section 3319 provide for 4 FSI, 5 FSI. If you are commercial, 100% your additional FSI by paying premium, you can go and provide commercial area. Completely commercial area, leaving your existing tenant. Sometimes you will see that some resident people are gone by taking money and all the commercial building has come. Now this has been provided, already provided in the regulation. But there is a provision, 20% of residential user is permitted in the, so then they will restrict to that area. So the commercial, but cannot we go out of the regulation. In case suddenly the permission is not there, even 33.7 when there is a provision, okay, 33.7 is there when there is a less tenement. See 33.7 provide, see all these incentive provide 33.7, 33.9, 33.10 is depend on the existing tenement. If your existing tenement less, then there is become a surplus area. Then you have to share the surplus area with MADA or corporation. When the surplus area has been there, if you want to use for commercial purpose, then MADA will ask more area. There is a provision. Accordingly, if it is, then you can, when they are using for commercial, right, when your negotiation, you can discuss with them. If you are using for commercial, you have to give more money, or society can demand everything. Then these are completely a commercial purpose.
So all these things would come in when
in the feasible report.
When we come with a private architect or an independent architect to give us, not
definitely,
the DMC.
definitely.
And also, if you include a commercial part, then you get more incentives.
The commercial incentive will be FSI now mostly on the road width.
Okay.
The road width, if you are a road width, then you can get FSI. Then you can, now it is up to you. If the more road, then it is commercial user is permitted. Okay. Then you can provide. When then again there is a restriction. Okay, but commercial user will be having separate wing, separate building. Otherwise, you cannot mix the user.
Different.
One building you cannot ground floor. Then there should be access separate. Access everything to be provided separately.
Okay. But for commercial, what is the basic minimum requirement as far as the width of the road is concerned?
See, minimum is 12 meter onward. The different there are provisions are there for minimum 12 meter onward. Even you can say now the general requirement for the school and other resilience purpose, everything, the defined road widths are been given. Okay, this road width only has then provided this particular, even cinema, theatre, other thing, there is definitely the road width has been defined in the regulation.
Now there is one Mahendra Shah. He's asking, in redevelopment, if bidder takes fungible and give to rehab tenants 35%, then only he can get for sale NR. I think non-resident is only 20%.
No. See, all the residential people will get now 35% fungible for everybody. And if we giving to all the tenants, then I did not understand.
I think there is one more question. Is cluster development possible with 3 buildings under one layout plot with same CTS number, or do we need 2 different society in different plot of land?
See, it is not at the CTS number, it is the area of the plot. If one plot area is having the more than 6,000 in the suburb and city is more than 4,000, you can definitely go for the redevelopment of the cluster development. Okay. It is not that it is then incentive. Now the point will be, even in the cluster development, if there are number of plots and other things, there are provision. If the number of plots are being taken together, then incentive are changing. So then all these will be effect.
So we can have one plot in Mahim, one in the other.
No. So all to be the cluster means now this is very. I will tell you the cluster definition. It should be surrounded by road and will be all together. And you cannot you can define a cluster, because originally the corporation and government was thinking to mark a cluster in a development plan. In the area like Bindi Bazar or Kalba Devi, Girgaon, all these, they were proposing to mark a cluster development. What is the area of the cluster?
As you rightly said, that the basic criteria is the area of the plot.
Area of the
In city, it is 4,000 square meters, and in the suburb, it is 6,000 square meters. If we fulfill this particular criteria, then we can definitely go in for
all this is a continuous plot. Yes,
It cannot be here. Now, how can area correction be done, as we have mismatch in PR card and builder agreement, which is 40 years old?
See, this is the a very. I was talking the one particular in the bigger layout. There are some very important in the past development. There are sometimes the development of subdivision has been done, and subdivision been done on a basis of the subdivision plan approved, and that area is being reflected. But however, finally when the construction was done, then the plot area is differing. Then there is a correction process at the collector. The collector is a long process. You have to go to the city survey office, then he will measured and will be again check with their original record what is there. Then it's a long process, and up to SRA, the Superintendent of Land Record, it will go there, and then the correction will be effected. There will be recheck and check, and everything will be done.
The survey will be done again.
Survey will be done, then it will be a long process. It will take a lot of time. And you write from the survey to the SLR, the file will move.
So now there is one more question, but this will go to the chartered accountant because it is related to GST. Is GST applicable to rehab flats?
Should be going into a long discussion on GST, so we'll leave it when we talk of GST as a subject on the
we will have one topic on GST, a separate topic on GST on cooperative housing society as well as on the rehab component. Now there are few questions which have come here. What are the implications that I think you have already covered this of section 33.7, 33.9, 33.11 that is already be covered, so you can rewatch or revisit the video again. What should be appropriate sale component given to the developer?
This is a very important question for the society. We were now repeatedly talking on this subject. That is why I was talking, a feasibility report will give you everything, the cost as well as the available. Based on this, both this, what is the cost and what is the sale. And from sale, you can definitely, the people of society knows what is the sale price of the tenement or flat going on. Accordingly, what will be outcome, what will be income coming here. So then accordingly, you can negotiate. What is the area? Accordingly, component, what is the sale component? But now you give more area to us, there's area. Then that all the discussion about the commercial aspect of the redevelopment will be on your feasibility report.
So feasibility report will give you the potential of the plot or potential of your building. Now what is to be covered, I tell you. Now let's say that your flat is of 500 square feet. 35% I will just round off to 200 square feet. So 500 plus 200, you get 700 square feet. The cost of construction of 700 square feet, plus you will be staying for 3 years outside that building, right? So transit accommodation. So for 3 years, transit accommodation will be counted. Plus whatever the sale component is there, the construction of that sale component will be also calculated, and plus the premium paid and various other fees of, advocates, architects, licensing architect, designing architects that will, and then structural designers, structural engineers are there who are specialized. Everyone is specialized. So all that cost when is calculated, so it will be depending upon your location. Suppose if I'm getting a 1 lakh, I'm just giving an example, 1 lakh square feet of sellable component in Bandra, I will fetch say around 1,25,000 rupees per square feet if it is in a prime location. But if the same area, if I'm getting in Andheri, I will hardly get 40,000-50,000 rupees as a sale price. But if the same area goes towards Walkeshwar, Malabar Hill, or say Nepean Road, Pedder Road, or Cuff Parade, Nariman Point, so my price of that 1 lakh sale component will be from 1,50,000 to 2 lakh rupees. So it will all depend upon where your location is there and what is the. Now there is one more aspect which comes into my mind, that every other building is going for redevelopment, whether it is in South Mumbai or whether it is in Bandra or whether it is in Santa Cruz, Andheri. Now the supply of the new flats is going to increase, plus the demand for rental flat is also going to increase. So what do you see in this scenario? Will it be like a bubble? It is going to burst and collapse like what we saw in the share market in 2008 and in 2000.
Population is going. So
Yeah, population is growing, no doubt, but so when you are taking a decision, you keep this in mind. Now the next question is, what is preferred option for cooperative housing society? Should they go for self redevelopment or give it to the developer?
or joint.
Now the self-development, the main aspect. See why the developer is coming in the picture is the one thing. First of all, the developer will have the full knowledge of the development. He will be knowing what is going to be my contribution, whatever the cost and everything, and how you're going to sell it. And sell it, they have got all the infrastructure for sale and everything. And second aspect, okay, the finance, all finance will be available, and it is required, they will manage. Now, and very important aspect, nowadays, being of the government, today you have seen the development regulation, which was supposed to be published long before. It was supposed to be come, but they are coming. Still, the 100% of the development plan is not been sanctioned. The government is still coming out with some other changes and everything. Even after regulation, there are so many circular which is come. There are so many other provision also come. There is some increase also, FSI also come. And there is some other payment also is come. So all these aspects, the builder can observe, either plus or minus. The self-development, first of all the members should have the thorough knowledge of the development procedure. Because there are different people are not having full knowledge on a development aspect, but they are having some story heard from people, and they on that basis of their story we start arguing. Then it will be difficult for the people who are initiating and going for self-development. So it is required to educate your member first for a development procedure and everything. Then come to study the feasibility report, place before them, and see that the finance available. How you are going to generate finance through the bank or other thing. All these have to be discussed, and all the members should come to one platform. See, very important aspect is the people today in the society, people don't trust each other. That is generally it has been seen. Like the people who are taking initiative, people say कि भाई ये करता है भाई ये कुछ करने वाला है. So that is the aspect. Then that's why development it is there. Let everybody know what is going to be their part, and then there are plus minus everywhere. When you are doing self-development, you know what is you are going to get everything, but then you have to put your own effort and your knowledge there. And that is to be ready. If you are ready, all the members, then it is best procedural way of self-development.
You can get a team when you are doing self-development. It's a project that you are getting into. So
But
like
then
any
you should
project,
have a knowledge.
the builder also, most of the builders who have come up now started with no knowledge of building. They progressed at our expense or expense of the people. And if you employ, for example, if I am doing redevelopment, I ask you to come and be my expert advisor. I will get as much knowledge as somebody else, and I make a team. And in the team, if we move, what you said was correct, that people don't agree with themselves in the society. That is the basic problem. If they agree together, then you get experts and you make it into a project team and carry on.
See, this is a teamwork. The self-development is a teamwork. In any organization, when there is a teamwork, everything will go in a very good way. If it is not teamwork,
Right. And actually, there is misinformation among the members of the society. So it is very important, like previously also you have said, that first people need to be told about 79A. Correct. They should be totally, they should be guided as to what this whole thing is about, and followed by the potential report, finance report, and the feasibility report.
By an independent person.
By an independent architect, which is very important.
See, the architect should be, with no strings attached.
Correct.
Now, the last two questions which I'm going to take is, in cases where the society does not have conveyance and property card in their name, what steps should they take? They can blindly go for redevelopment, or they have to...
see, without the property card and without the conveyance, the property is not yours. When you go to the authority, you have to prove your title. It's a requirement. Today you are in the possession of the property but without titles. You are a society registered, but then the land is not in your name.
I would like to just put an input here. When you go to register the society, the first reason why you register the society is to get conveyance. So you have an object clause in the bylaw, and the first object clause is to get conveyance. Unfortunately, we have a disconnect, and people feel that you get a society that you want to build, repair, and even in the registrar's office, when we go and complain, repair nahi hua, first question he should be asking, have you conveyed? He doesn't ask that question and goes on to talking about memberships. So first important thing which we have to emphasize is whichever society, whether you are going for development or not, first make sure that the object clause that you have for the formation of the society, which is the conveyance, is done immediately. Your property card happens. Thereafter, we can go on to redevelop.
But a large sizable number of societies are having this dilemma. What Sulaiman Bhimani is saying, that they don't have the conveyance, they don't have the property card in their name, in the society's name. Then how to go about it?
There's a process.
There's a process.
For everything, so if you don't have a conveyance, there is a consumer code available to you, which is very, very reasonable. So instead of going for a Deem conveyance, you should go to the consumer court, and you will get compensated for deficiency of service of the builder and unfair trade practice. It depends upon the society. If you want to see the papers, one society in Kandivali has got 9 crores 90 lakhs as compensation
With interest.
for deficiency of service. I don't want to name and defame the builder, but anybody wants, they can come to my office and see that what the power the consumer court has to get you the conveyance, right? So you don't have to do underhand dealing to get the Deem conveyance. The consumer court is much powerful, and you will get what is your right. Now,
if I may also interject at this point, you would know about it. Mahara, at least for Mahara I am aware of, that there's a regulation which says that if the property price has been paid for fully and there are no dues, the CEO has to initiate to give the conveyance. That is one of the regulations, but which is not being followed. And the CEO does not come forward, and you have so many Mahada buildings here where conveyance has not been given, fully paid for, and nobody knows. And Mahada keeps on charging premium for every transfer. You are paying transfer charges at two places, and they are making profiteering, which can be avoided if people know. And this is something which is in the regulation of Mahada.
See, I will, in continuation with this, in the slum redevelopment, in the government plots, corporation and government plot, there is a provision that after development, the lease has to be executed. But in my knowledge, this lease execution by the authority which is provided in this, it has not been very successful. Now the SRA has taken some effort to see that it has to be done. This is once the people are start living in a building, maintaining the building, they forget about the conveyance. And then the conveyance will be remembered when it is required redevelopment.
It's your birth certificate, you forget that.
Yeah. Now the last question is it advisable to enter into an MOU with a developer when conveyance and property card are not in favor of the cooperative housing society?
See, entering, if you know the potential, you can definitely negotiate. Then the cost of the getting property card conveyance has to be also taken separately, and that is to be considered by negotiation. And what is the time limit? Because very important, the conveyance and the property card and all this is very time consuming. So then in between what is to be done, because by the time all this been done, you have to be very careful. By the time when you actual the development will start or proposal will be submitted to corporation, what are the changes has to be done. If it is in the lowest change, again see that you come to the update and then you do it.
So I will add a little more to Mr. Samoon Rassiwalla's concluding comment is that if you see the danger that your building is going to fall into C1 category where you cannot do the repairs while staying inside, you will have to vacate. Then in that case, if that is the urgency, then you can take the risk of signing an MOU with the developer. Otherwise, if your building life is, say, for another 10 years, apply conveyance through consumer court and then apply that property card. It is only a matter of time, and you will see that within 3 to 4 years, you will get the conveyance and the property card in the name of the society. So only the hurry is if the building is going to fall into C1 category, into dilapidated condition, and building may collapse anytime. At that time, because anyway it is a risk, so you can take that risk of signing an MOU. That is, I will end this thing.
Thank you.
Or if you want to elaborate something on the C1 category.
I will be only my comment concluding. The development and redevelopment is a process. It requires a detailed study of all the regulation. Secondly, first of all, as I told you, the redevelopment potential has to be first ascertained, then all the process has to be done thereafter. And secondly, I am very, very happy with your forum. You are taking such question and your subject, which is enlightening to the citizen. And this is very important, because that was I was talking when you are going for a self-development, the knowledge of the development and redevelopment, has to be done. If we require, I'm ready to give you a detailed procedure of redevelopment in various sections. 33(7) how to be processed, 33(9) how to do process, what are the process, where you have to go, what are the requirements. Now secondly, the documentation, very important. When you go for a feasibility report, there are certain documents which is required before because either you do not have the existing building plan, then there is a problem. You have to get your existing building plan, the occupation plan or anything, whatever available. If it's not there, your assessment details, many times the area given in the assessment are not matching with your actual area. there are the differences. What are the differences? These are the detail of your own property has to be with you, correct detail with you. All these aspects are required to be maintained, and first the record has to be updated, and then feasibility report and other development. I hope whatever the been said today, giving some more infrastructure details about your redevelopment. And I'm again thankful to the forum here for inviting me and giving a chance to serve the community by way of my knowledge. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Samoon Rassiwalla, CA Israni, and Mr. Muhammad Afzal. I hope you like this session, and I know you will share this video with all your contacts and all your friends. So stay tuned to our channel for more updates on legal matters that affect you. If you find this video informative, please like, share, subscribe for more engaging content on the legal issues. See you again in the next video with a new topic. Till then, take care, stay blessed, be safe, and remain healthy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope that